Welcome in to Monday Night Quarterback. It's a beautiful Monday night. I am El Jefe. I am your quarterback. Thanks for tuning in live on 12 Ounce Sports. You can catch us on YouTube, X, Roku, or Fire TV. Excited for tonight's show. Lots of topics. I got my producer backstage going to be throwing me an audible at the end of the show. We do that every Monday night. This is a Monday Night Quarterback, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Got a lot of things to talk about, so I'm excited about it. Before we get into it, hashtag MNQB, and make sure to go to MyBookie. Things are picking up. We're going to go over some lines on MyBookie for the NBA playoffs. Promo code 12OZ Sports, all capital letters, no spaces. Deposit bonus up to $1,000. Let's go. They're a good outlet. I love them. All right, let's get into it. Like I said, we have a lot of topics. Nico, you are not a volunteer. This guy is not volunteering his time. Look, this is a common problem that's going to keep growing in college football, college basketball, all college sports. Get over it, folks. Get used to it. First of all, we're getting all mad at the players, right? The coaches have been able to do this for years, okay? Coach here, go find a better offer. Then coach there, go find a better offer. Nobody chastises them. Nobody gives them a hard time. Look, if you want to argue that Nico's not worth what he's seeking, I understand. But Nico is playing the system. This is the system that's been set up in college sports. Can you blame the kid? There's no guarantee he's going to make it in the NFL. There's no guarantee he's going to get to the NFL. He might get hurt next season. Get the money while you can. To quote Rome from the Rome Show on Rome Show in the Morning, get that bag while you can. So I don't know why he's catching so much heat. I mean, yeah, he shopped himself around. Spring practices happen. Actually, a story came out. Dan Lanning from Oregon might have been the whistleblower, if you want to call it a whistleblower. It's not really a whistleblower. I don't think he did anything wrong. Again, if you want to argue he's not worth the price tag he's searching for, that's one thing. But that's not your problem. People are going to pay him if they think he's worth that kind of money for their football team to make their football team better. All right? He's a playoff quarterback. They got smoked by my Buckeyes. But he's just literally looking to increase his salary. People do it every day. I work in corporate America. They do it every single day. Okay? So let's lay off the kid just a little bit. Bring up the graphic. I like the graphic here, producer. You got to take my banner off, though. I'm a-leaving, all right? I'm a-leaving on a jet plane. Don't know if I'll ever be back again. Folks, this is the bottom line. This is your Monday Night Quarterback talking to you. This kid has a right. This is the system. If you're mad at anything, be mad at the system, okay? They set this up. Unlimited transfers don't have to sit out. NIL money, there's no cap on it yet. If I'm 20 years old, I just made the playoffs, and somebody told me you can double how much you made at Tennessee if you go to wherever, Texas A&M, you're sure as shit I'm going to research that. I'm going to explore that. Did he go about it the right way? I don't know. He waited quite a long time. Spring practice has started. You can take the graphic down now, producer. Thank you. Spring practice has started. Maybe he did it a little late in the process. But again, he didn't do anything wrong. The other side story here is apparently maybe he looked into Oregon. Dan Lanning wasn't interested. I don't know. There's rumors out there. Lanning didn't want to address it. We're going to look at this here. He didn't want to address the rumors. I think I printed it out. Dan Lanning said, I'm not going to get into anything else except let's talk about the scrimmage today. The Ducks worked really hard at their scrimmage. There's a lot of rumors out there that maybe because Oregon did recruit Lamaliva, I hope that's how you say it, coming out of high school, there was a lot of hard rumors that maybe Dan Lanning reached out to Josh Heupel to let him know your quarterback is shopping himself around. Who knows? But again, as the Monday Night Quarterback, bottom line, we'll move on. Don't take it out on Nico. Okay, he's just playing the system. You folks watching that have a day job, if somebody saw you in the grocery store, said, hey, I didn't know you were an accountant. Hey, I didn't know you were a project manager. How much you making? Oh, I'm making $30 an hour. I'll give you 40. You're going to say, no, I'm totally loyal to the company I work for. Get out of here. That's not going to happen. Good for Nico. Who cares? That's the system. Play the system. Okay, moving on. What's our next one? Rory McIlroy, my fellow Irishman. Oh, he wins the Masters career Grand Slam. This was his 11th attempt. Of the other, I think, 4 or 5 guys throughout history that have the career Grand Slam, I think the most attempts was maybe 3. I think Tiger was his first or second attempt. Nicholas, first or second attempt. 11 attempts. And he almost pissed it away. Rory almost gave it away. I don't know if you watched the Masters this weekend. Maybe you're not I know some people just hate watching golf, but this was drama personified. Bryson DeChambeau took the lead on hole 2. McIlroy got up to a 4-stroke lead and completely lost himself. In fact, his big hit in the playoff hole, get a little tongue-tied, I'm getting excited. His big shot was with a gap wedge. Why is that significant? The 2 prior times he had hit that wedge, he had hit it into the water, double bogeyed. Now he's facing a playoff hole with Rose, and he has to hit the gap wedge again. Stuck it. He stuck it within 3 feet. Rose had the par. He 2-putted. McIlroy makes his putt for birdie, and the rest is history. He's a career Grand Slammer. Now, there's a lot to unpack there. You can see he's very emotional. That's Lowry, the other Irishman. By the way, golf was created in Scotland, so they're neighbors to the creators of golf. He was very emotional, crying, visibly crying, hugging his wife, hugging Lowry. I mean, I didn't think he was going to make it to the scorer's table. He was crying. He was taking deep breaths, trying to compose himself. I saw online, which you can't really take things you see online too seriously, but people were mad. Oh, he didn't high-five the fans as he walked through the little tunnel of humans to go to the score. The guy was beside himself. When you accomplish something drastically major in your life, is the first thing you think, I got to high-five whoever's around me? No, this guy was beside himself. 11 attempts. This is the pinnacle of golf here, the career Grand Slam. Good for him. That was unbelievable. What a Masters that was. My only beef as the Monday night quarterback, if I'm going to second guess things, is why is the Masters at the beginning of the golf season? I know it kind of marks we're going in the spring. I would really love to see the Masters later in the season. I'm not in charge. Whatever. That was an amazing Masters. Now, another thing amazing about the Masters is, did you know they allow no cell phones? And if you're a big fan as I am, I'm sure you already know that. No cell phones at the Masters. I think this is a brilliant idea. I wish they could implement that policy at most sporting events, okay? No distractions. Everybody's focused on the tournament. It's a beautiful thing. I know I'm the old guy yelling at the clouds, but I don't know why it bugs me, but it bugs me that when I tune into major sporting events, people are doing this. They're staring through this. The real action's right there. Why are you staring through this? You get to see Rory McIlroy, I'm getting excited, is 10 feet away. Why are you looking through your phone? I think it's a great rule. All right, it's less distractions, less problems. Great rule by the Masters. I wish other leagues would do it. I know comedians have started doing it. Look, people, that thing that we carry around in our pockets can be a problem. It can be a problem. It can take us away from real life. Enjoy the moment. All right, stand-up comedy started, not confiscating, but you check your phone at the door. The Masters has been doing it for years. I think it's a great thing. Way to go, Masters. All right, that was a great Masters this year. One more topic, then we'll go to a quick commercial break. It's a sad topic. I hate reporting on these things. I'm sure you heard it. I'm just going to weigh in on my thoughts. Full disclosure, you can't see over there. But, I did go to Cornell as a counselor. So these things are, psychological issues, mental issues are important to me. So if you haven't heard, Kyren Lacy, LSU wide receiver, highly talented for the NFL. They were thinking 2026 draft. In December, he had an unfortunate incident where, he was involved or, in the area of a car crash. There were reports that he was passing people, so people had to swerve to get out of his way. It caused a head-on collision. 2 days after the car crash, he declared for the NFL draft, which was a year earlier than people had suspected he was going to declare for it. Soon after that, I think in January, the local police force had put charges on him. Vehicular homicide. Okay? He was set to go to court. I have it up over there. I don't want to walk off camera. His hearing was coming up soon to find out his fate, his freedom, how long he's going to go to prison, if he's going to go to prison. The world was crumbling down on him, okay? That's very heavy to go through. And you can say, oh, yeah, but he made his own choices. He did. We're going to get to that, okay? But the world was crumbling down on him. I'm not sure what kind of people he had around him, but then we find out this weekend there was a domestic dispute, I believe. There was a woman at the complex he lived at, had called the police, said they were arguing. He fired a round into the ground. Why he always has a gun on him, I don't know. These guys, I don't know if he always had a gun on him. Every time you hear an incident like this with an athlete, there's a gun involved. But he shot it into the ground. Another terrible move. We're going to get to his bad choices here in a minute. Ends in a police pursuit. When the pursuit ends, the police walk up to the car. It wrecked. He had shot himself in the head, which caused the car to wreck. Now his life's over. Folks, there's a lot going on here, okay? Before we get into that, I know that his attorney came out and said it was unjust what the local police force and the system was doing to him. He was wrongfully accused. I don't know. I don't know how they accused him. I don't know if he has license plate number. But somebody around him, and I don't think he had good peers or reference points around him. We all make bad decisions. You know what makes those bad decisions worse? Doubling down and making another bad decision and another bad decision and another bad decision, where it just now all of a sudden the world's coming down on you. If I was around Kyren Lacy, I say, okay, look, they've implicated you in this car crash that killed a 78-year-old veteran. Let's go through the court system. If you don't like the outcome, you can appeal it. But let's lay low now. Let's not get in domestic disputes and fire a round into the ground. Let's not run from the cops and shoot ourselves. Now he has no future, right? And the people around him now have this burden. So if any young people are watching, look, you're going to make bad decisions. That's a guarantee in life. There is no way to avoid bad decisions. We all make them at very young ages. Don't compound that problem, okay? Don't start making more and more bad decisions. Stop yourself and say, okay, I made a terrible decision, bad judgment. I was a part of a car wreck, okay? Let's face the music. Let's get through it. He could have, these things are, not always life sentences, okay? He could have done a couple years. He could have, they could have just said, those guys swerved. You're gonna do some short time, maybe some. Who knows what would have happened? Maybe in 2-3 years he could have bounced back and made it to the NFL. Now he's dead because he just kept compounding the problem. So that's where we need to, as a community, as people around him, maybe at LSU, could have mentored him a little better and said, okay, that's a terrible decision. Stop making bad decisions. Okay. But it doesn't sound like he had those types of people around him. And that's the problem these days. We just he's 20 years old. He's making money playing college football. Just let him make his own decisions. No, we need to mentor each other. We need to care for each other. All right. And I don't know, I suspect that people weren't mentoring or caring for him. To hear his lawyers say he's unjustly being accused of this, they had to have some kind of evidence that he was part of the car wreck. You could have fought that in court, but I'm just speculating, but it sounds like people were in his ears saying, this is BS, you're getting accused for no reason, blah, blah, and that just made him mad instead of saying, somebody should have said, and this will be the last time I repeat myself, but somebody should have said, just get your day in court and let this play out. I mean, that seemed like a better alternative to where we're at now. So another sad story. I hate to hear it. He had a bright future in football. Future's gone. Future's still here, though. I mean, we got to move on. So we're going to move on after this commercial break. It should be the last sad story. We're going to go into better news and the NBA playoffs after this. Monday Night Quarterback. I'm Al Jefe. I appreciate you tuning in. We'll be right back. Welcome back in Monday Night Quarterback. Let's lighten the mood. I'm Al Jefe. By the way, that commercial, New York Coffee Bros, it's really good stuff. 12ouncesports.com/coffee. Help the network out. That's how you can help the network out. I'm going to have the biggest way you can help the network out at the end of the show about our ticketing platform. Let's get into the next topic. Producer, bring it up. Paige Beckers, however you say it. I don't know how to pronounce these names. First of all, I walked in the room one day with women's college basketball up, and before I knew it was women's college basketball, Paige was in the middle of a jump shot, and I said, whoo, that person can shoot. I'm telling you, people, the women's game is, not that it was bad before, but man, these ladies can ball, and this lady can shoot. Well, she made a very smart money move, all right? And we're going to get down to it because the WNBA draft is tonight. I think my producer said she's projected to go 1, I believe. But in a smart move by Paige Beckers, I hope I'm saying it right, she's going to sign a 3-year deal with the 3-on-3 league Unrivaled. Now, sources have told the larger networks, I don't know why they don't talk to us, that she should, in the 10 weeks at Unrivaled, exceed what she's going to make in her first 4 years in the WNBA, which they project her first-year salary in the WNBA to be $78,000. So multiply that by 4. That's what she's expected to make in 10 weeks with Unrivaled. That's amazing. And I don't know anybody that would hate this story. Beckers, my producer's helping me. Thank you. Paige Beckers. I don't know who would hate this story. I know people don't like cross-platforms. I don't like, some people don't like, playing for the WNBA and playing here. I know Caitlin Clark turned down. It was with the men, the 3-on-3 deal there. Listen, we'll go back to Nico. She has an opportunity to make money, take care of herself. Go for it. You could say, well, she could get hurt, and then whoever drafts her tonight is kind of screwed. It's all a risk, baby. It's all a risk, all right? She could get hurt not playing basketball before she even starts one game for whoever drafts her tonight. It's all a risk. She's got to get the money while it's hot. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube or X, you can chime in. Roku, Fire TV, just watch. But if you want to chime in, please, we'll take your comments. But good for her. I kind of liken it a little bit to the guys that went to Live Golf, and now people want to hate on them. Look, if it wasn't Saudi Arabia, would you be mad? If it was Canada? I mean, these guys were offered $100 million before they even hit a golf ball. Who's not going to do that? Are you crazy? We all sit on our couches and judge these people. We're sitting on our couch. Some of you are judging Paige Beckers. Why wouldn't she go to the Unrivaled and make more money in 10 weeks that she's going to make in 4 seasons in the WNBA. And she's still going to play in the WNBA. And she's still going to rise that league up. Get the money while you can, especially when the WNBA salaries are low. Great move, Paige. Great financial decision. Go play that 10 weeks. Get that money. Good for her. I love it. I love those kind of stories of people excelling, making money, and thriving. All right, we're moving on. All right. The Suns fired Mike Budenholzer. And you know what? These leagues just keep blaming coaches. Listen, the Suns are a pretty damn good team. They got Kevin Durant. Like, do you watch the NBA? I mean, I know I'm a LeBron fan, a closeted fan. I hated that he left Cleveland twice, but he did bring us a title. Half the time in the huddle, the coach is standing off to the side and LeBron's calling the play. And that's an NBA thing. These guys are grown men, elite basketball players, the greatest level of basketball we've seen in our lifetime. How much are these guys coaching? They're figureheads. So unless all the players just absolutely hated this guy, why are we blaming him? We're firing coaches in 4th place in the playoffs. Like, why even have coaches at this point in the NBA? Just let the players, play. And these guys just... Listen to this. These guys just paid this guy. I want to find it. They just gave him a 5-year, $50 million contract last year, right? So now they got to pay that contract out and hire somebody new. Who pays that cost? We do. The fans do. Can any of these teams just let these coaches ride out contracts? And then you wonder why players and coaches just up and leave for more money, because if they get they could get fired after the first year. Now, I don't know how much of that's guaranteed or if he's going to get it all. But who's running these teams? You just hired the guy. He's got Kevin Durant. Let this play out. They didn't make the playoffs. All right, it was a disappointing season. All right, we can't all be the Patriots dynasty, but they just keep blaming the coaches. These players at some point have to step up. They're not going to blame the players. Those are the big names. That's why people buy the tickets, but it's just absolutely ridiculous to me. Next one, Monday Night Quarterback. We're blazing through these. I got to do the NBA title odds because my producer has an audible like every Monday. He's going to throw me an audible. I brought some notes on the back of my odds. I'm going to give you the breakdown of the top 4 teams and their record against other playoff teams. It's very interesting. It might help you make a decision. So these lines are on my bookie. Again, promo code 12OZ Sports, all caps, no spaces, a deposit bonus up to $1,000. You can use cryptocurrency even on there, and they help out 12-ounce sports, grassroots. We're not mega corporation, so sign up. Put $10 in at my bookie. You'll get a deposit bonus up to $10. You'll get free $10 if you deposit $10. And then my bookie says, hey, 12-ounce sports, thanks for that. There you go. We'll help you out a little bit. It helps small guys like us. The big guys don't need your help. All right. Top 4. I mean, we can go through all of them, but Oklahoma City Thunder plus 155. I'll tell you why that's the favorite right now. Because them and the Cavs have the best records, I believe. Celtics plus 191. I'll tell you why that's crazy. Cavs plus 580 is crazy too. You're going to find out why here in a minute. Lakers plus 1,218. That's tempting. All right, so there's your top 4. You can leave the odds up, producer man, Mr. Michael, because here I want to break down the Thunder. Okay, the Thunder are 2-0 against the Celtics. They're 2-0 against the Knicks. They're 2-1 against the Lakers. They're 3-2 against the Rockets. Those are playoff teams. Interesting enough, they have losing records against 2 other playoff teams you might not have thought of. The Thunder are 1-2 against the Warriors and 1-3 against the Mavs. Now, I'm guessing a couple of those were before Luka transferred to the Lakers, but that is interesting. And they're 1-1 against the Cavs, okay? Second best odds, Celtics. They're 2-2 against the Cavs. That's a toss-up right there. They have way better odds than the Cavs, but they're only 2-2 against them. The Cavs are plus 580. Cavs are starting to look like good money right there. Knicks, the Celtics are 4-0 against the Knicks. So if you look down here, the Knicks are, and I got a sleeper too, the Knicks are plus 2,700. Well, the Knicks are 0-4 against the Cavs. They're 0-4 against the Celtics. They're 0-2 against the Thunder, and they're 0-2 against the Lakers. Think I'm putting money on the Knicks? Oh, hell no. All right. Celtics are 3-1 against the Pistons. Now, there's one team that has a winning record against the Cavs and the Celtics in the East. That is the Indiana Pacers. Can you believe that? The Pacers are 3-1 against the Cavs and 2-1 against the Celtics. Now we get to the Lakers. That's where you can win some big money right there. What are the Lakers? Plus 12 something. Lakers are plus 12-18. Lakers are 1-1 against the Celtics, 2-0 against the Knicks, 3-1 against the Warriors, 1-2 against the Thunder, so you got to worry about that one. 2-2 against the Nuggets. They're 2-0 against the Pacers. Now they're not going to face them unless they get to the finals. There's the breakdown. I think the head-to-head is very interesting. I like, for my money, the Cavaliers plus 580. I think in a series with Oklahoma City, it's going to be a toss-up. Got to check the clock. We're doing good. We have enough time for the audible. I like the Cavs. If you want safe money, obviously go Thunder. If you want to gamble, baby, the Lakers with Luka, anything can happen. Plus 12-18. Bet 100 to win 1,200. There you go. I love those odds. All right. I think the top four, I'm least sold on the Celtics. I like the Cavs because they've been hot and they've had the best record in the East all year. The Thunder, obviously, because they're stacked. The Lakers are my sleeper. I'd consider putting $10 on the Lakers on my bookie. All right, audible time from my producer. Then we're getting out of here. Let's hear it.
First of all, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I can't wait for your audible. The crowd may not believe us, but I have no idea what the audible is. And they may not believe us because I nailed it week 1. So we'll see how it goes tonight.
So, as you've probably heard, there's a knockoff / semi-pro kind of football league called the United Football League.
Okay.
I came across this earlier this afternoon and was very just dumbfounded by it all because on March the 25th, which is now like over 2 weeks ago, Kai Nakua, who's the older brother of Puka, says all options are on the table without a new collective bargaining agreement deal. Like basically saying that they would hold out all this stuff. Then the latest news that came out of this was the UFL players are going to open their games, so they're going to play without the CBA. But they're asking The Rock for help. My question is this. At what point, because I know that the National Lacrosse League is doing this too with like the whole CBA. At what point do you realize, guys, we need to make money some way or another? Why are we like, I don't get the mindset. I know what you said about earlier about making money when you can, but it's like you're in the UFL. You haven't even made it to the NFL, or maybe you have and you sucked at it. You can't get back by not playing. Okay,
yep.
So what is your take on that?
Is there a question in this, or are you just ranting?
What is your take on like you'd rather not play, but your dream is to make money and play football? I just don't see I can't correlate that in my brain.
Yeah, so this might be an unpopular opinion, but the UFL is going to fail. So my old lady yesterday walked in and said, football? What's football? I said, it's spring football. It's never worked. They've been trying it since the 80s, the USFL. The USFL, nobody can recreate it. It was great. It was so great, the NFL pretty much killed them with money. Here's the UFL's problem, right? You're in year 2. You have The Rock backing you. You have everything in you. Fox, I think, is involved. And then they turn on the cameras, and it's these embarrassingly empty stadiums. It's because it's spring. Everybody, most people love football, but it's spring. It's the start of baseball. The Masters is on. The weather's getting warm. People are going outside more. There's a reason why it doesn't work in spring. And then you guys are much better football players than I ever was, and I played college football, but so I don't mean it rudely here, but you're second-rate football players. You can't make the NFL right now. You should probably play as much as possible, even if it's not for the type of money you want. Your odds are against you, so don't make Remember when we went back to Kyren Lacy? Don't make a bad decision worse by compounding with other bad decisions. Your odds are already against you. Now you're making your odds worse by threatening to not play unless you get more money in a league where they can't get people to even fill half the stadium. Come on, people. Monday Night Quarterback. I'm talking sense. Thanks for tuning in. Live on 12 Ounce Sports. We'll be back next Monday. Producer, thank you. Good audible. I was worried it was going to stump me. You still haven't stumped me. I'm El Jefe. Have a great Monday evening and a great week. Peace.